You know that feeling when you're about to do something for the first time? That's how I felt before my first solo trip to Taiwan. Nervous, but excited. There's something magical about exploring the world on your own for the first time. Let's start with the airport. They're like gateways to a new adventure. Usually, I'm all about snagging a window seat. But not this time, I was a little late. So no options left for me. Lesson learned. Then I landed in Taipei. The first thing I noticed, the trees. They had this distinct look I'd never seen before. And it reminded me that I was somewhere completely new. It's funny how even trees can make you feel so far from home. Navigating the transportation system was super simple. Oh, and here's something important. You're not allowed to eat or drink inside the metro. If you do, you could be fined up to 75,000 Taiwanese dollars. So keep that in mind while you're exploring. As I headed to my hotel, the warm sunshine and the calm streets gave me such a peaceful vibe. It felt like the moments stick with you, you know? One thing I loved, Taiwan's traffic lights. They're just so cute. I know it's a little thing, but I couldn't stop noticing how even something had its own charm here. After checking into my hotel, the first thing I did was grab a random drink. Turns out it was pretty good. Then I hopped on a bus and finally got a proper look at Taipei. The city felt like a bit Hong Kong and Japan mixed together. My first stop was the National Palace Museum. I took my time exploring every corner. And here's a tip. Don't miss the garden behind the museum. It's huge and so beautiful. Walking through the garden felt peaceful, like escaping the busy city for a while. The sounds of birds made it even more relaxing. It's the perfect place to stroll, unwind, and enjoy the view. You might even spot koi fish in the ponds or birds resting in the trees. It's definitely worth visiting. By then, I was starving. So I treated myself to bubble tea at Sim Fu Tang. Their brown sugar bubble tea was so good, everything I dreamed of. Next on my list was Taipei 101. The elevator was so fast and the view from the top, totally worth it. It was amazing. The next day, I visited Longshan Temple. It was rich in history, and and that made the place feel so alive. The colors and the smell of incense created such a unique atmosphere. It's not just a temple. It's a living piece of culture. From there, I went to the Shanghai Sheikh Memorial Hall and got to watch the guard changing ceremony. It's such a fascinating piece of tradition. Later, I visited one of Taiwan's famous night markets. I didn't take many pictures, but I can tell you this: night markets in Taiwan are an absolute must. The food, the energy, the atmosphere was just perfect. I mainly tried fresh fruit and it was so good. For my final day, I visited Tamsui. This place felt like a hidden gem with its blend of British and Dutch architecture. It's also famous as the filming location for the movie Secret. I spent hours wandering around taking photos and just soaking up the atmosphere. Oh, and I can't forget the castella cake. Taiwan is the birthplace of this fluffy dessert, so I had to try it. It was warm, soft, and delicious. On the flight back home, I ended up chatting with the person sitting next to me. It's funny how travel brings people together. So, that's my Taiwan adventure. Sometimes, stepping out of your comfort zone is all it takes us to discover a whole new world.